Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I'm honored to have a guest with me who I met this weekend at Maker Faire and has a great startup company, Pinshape, Lucas Matheson. Am I pronouncing it right?
That's right, yeah.
Yep. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Could you tell us a little bit about you, about your background, if you want to share how you got where you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Canadian entrepreneur. We moved down to Silicon Valley about 5 weeks ago with my two co-founders, Nick and Andre. I have a background in finance, spent most of my career in due diligence helping companies buy and sell other companies, and I worked for a few years in the investment side of the energy sector in Alberta. So when Nick and I finished grad school, we went out for coffee one day and chatted about 3D printing and got really excited about it, and we decided to start a company, and we eventually worked on that company for about 8 months and ended up finding our way down to Silicon Valley.
Let's pull up the first slide too, which is a shot of the crowd at Maker Faire on I think that was actually Sunday. And we could pull that down and go to the next slide too. We can go to the next slide. It was so crowded, and you guys were in the startup tent. Here's your business partner. What's his name again?
Yeah, that's Nick Schwinghammer, one of our co-founders.
Okay, and we could pull up the next slide too. It was so crowded we couldn't get into the booth. And then this is your other business partner here?
Yeah, that's Andre, our CTO. He's a 21-year-old university dropout. We convinced him to drop out of university to join our team. He's our programmer building our back-end website for us.
And to the right of him is your machine, right?
Yeah, that's a 3D printer. That's a MakerBot 3D printer. And behind is just a demo of our app.
Okay, we can pull that down. And where was that?
That was in Edmonton.
Okay.
It was at a launch party for Startup Edmonton. So they invited us to showcase our startup and tell everybody what we're doing, and just kind of, it's a community event for startups in the city. So it was a good event for us to showcase what we're doing.
So what were your degrees in?
I did my undergrad in finance.
Okay.
And then I did my CFA, so I'm a chartered financial analyst. It's more focused on the investment side of finance. And then I went back to school and did my MBA at the University of Alberta. And that's where I met Nick. And that was a 2-year program. I was just doing a general degree, and I just ended up studying more strategy and negotiation, and was on the executive committee and just had a good time competing for the school and participating in a lot of the extracurricular activities with the program. And then when I finished that, I took a position with an energy company in Alberta, and I helped the valuations group there help buy and sell power plants.
And you have a family. You look so young, but you have a family.
I do. I have 2 beautiful boys and a beautiful wife. I have a 2 and a 4-year-old, and yeah, I've been down in Mountain View.
I would have guessed that you weren't a day past like 19.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'm 35, so I'm getting. I'm 35, 2
Well, you look great.
Kids.
That's great.
Yeah.
The kids must keep you young.
They do. They have lots of energy, especially our 2-year-old. He has a lot of energy.
Yeah, chasing a 2-year-old, opening cabinets and all kinds of stuff. So tell us more about your company. And so you guys moved down here, and you're working in Mountain View, and it's been 6 months or.
Yeah, so the story is that Nick and I went out. Nick saw me walking across the street one day from his office, and he saw me and he sent me a text message. And he said, let's go for lunch. And the next day we went out for lunch. We started talking about 3D printing. And we didn't know too much about it at the time, but we started looking into it a bit more. And after learning about the technology and thinking about the opportunities in the market, we decided to start a company. And we were both just really excited about 3D printing and where we think it's going. And so we started a marketplace called Pinshape. And you can think of Pinshape as iTunes for 3D printing.
Okay.
So it's a place where you can go explore, you can share, sell, download, and order 3D prints. And so let's pull up the first slide here too, because I think a couple of the slides. So
is this some of the products you can make from?
Yeah, so those are some products that we printed off our printer, just some samples that we were showing off at Maker Faire.
And that's the printer, the MakerBot printer?
Yeah, there's a lot of 3D printers on the market right now for consumers, and that's one printer that's on the market right now.
And let's pull up the next slide too, because I think that one might have, so this is actually your website, and we were saying that it looks a little stretched, but people can go and check that out. And what is that there that we're looking at?
Yeah, so Pinshape is a place where we're working with designers around the world to upload content and designs and share their 3D models. So 3D printing, for those people who aren't familiar with it, is an additive manufacturing technology. So you can layer in materials layer upon layer and build a 3D object from a 3D digital file. And the beauty of this is that there's a new wave of digital media coming online from designers around the world who are building designs to be 3D printed. And the thing that excites us the most about 3D printing is really content. And so Pinshape is really focused on getting good content from talented designers around the world and working with those designers to upload the content to the web and make it available for people to explore.
So kind of an open source 3D product.
Yeah, you can think of it like Pintrist. Like Pintrist is an exploratory process for people. They can go on and just find things that they like. And
I'm on Pinterest, yeah.
We built Pinshape similar to a Pinterest style e-commerce marketplace where you can come on, you can explore content, find things that you like. And if you have a 3D printer at home, you can download a file and you can print it on your home 3D printer. And if you don't have a 3D printer, you can order a print. We print in dozens of different materials and we ship it to your house.
And where do you print?
We have printing partners that we work with to provide, to fulfill our shipping. Okay. So we print in, now you can print in everything from plastic, ceramics, multicolor, you can print in sandstone, and you can print in silver, gold, aluminide, and a whole variety of different
that
metals.
We were just looking at, it looked like a lamp almost. I don't know what that was. It was kind of like a doily looking thing. Yeah, it was really interesting. Let's pull up another slide because I think there's another product. Yeah, so you've got several different products here. People can either download then or how to print it, or they can purchase it either way.
Yeah, so this is a good slide. So there's a variety of different products on here. These are all from designers on Pinshape that have uploaded their content. And each designer can really decide how their content's shared. So they can make it available for download, or they can just make it available to order 3D prints. But these are designs from various designers These are designers from various designers with different backgrounds. You can
and then there's another
here.
one here.
Yeah, so this is a little bit different material, just some more content on the site. But you can really see that Pinshape is really about exploring different types of content.
And you can almost see the one on the left there, it's this kind of skull looking, and the one on the right, it almost looks like it's the same eyes, and maybe you can purchase to make different mechanical robots from it.
Yeah, exactly.
To make the skin for it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a really wide variety of things being produced for commercial 3D printing right now. Everything from jewelry to toys to learning activities.
And here's a close-up of one of the products that was there too,
yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, I noticed the jewelry too. It's like, wow, okay, you can print jewelry from it. I think there's, and we pull that down. So yeah, so the there was actually, I think it was a San Jose or Silicon Valley 3D printing group, like a group that meets like once a month, and I noticed they meet at the tech shop here, I think once a month on Thursdays.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to do the 3D printing, you can actually go to that, and they must, I didn't look at it very closely, but they must have the tools there at the tech shop that people can use as well. So are you working with like the tech shop in places like that too?
Yeah, we've connected with, we've been in the Valley now for 5 weeks and made some really good connections at Maker Faire to the community here in the Valley. So there's tech shop that are doing a lot in terms of education, helping people design 3D models. And we're connecting with a lot of the startups in the Valley that are working on hardware, like Type A machines. They're in the Valley here building 3D printers.
And what type of machines again?
They're building 3D printers, like FDM 3D printers.
You said Type A?
Yeah, their company is Type A Machines.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a Series 1 printer they're building here in the Valley. There's Made Solid. They're a company out of Y Combinator that are building materials for 3D printers. So they're really reinventing the material side of the business, helping people print in really interesting materials. And so we're making some good connections in the Valley to some really interesting companies that are working on the hardware and the material side.
So how many companies would you estimate there are that work on this type of product in the Valley?
That's a great question. There's